Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear brothers and sisters, today the topic that we are going to talk about is the effects of powerful Iman. Iman is the biggest blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the biggest niyama of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives Iman to those He wishes to give. When a believer is blessed with the beauty of Iman, everything about him begins to change. The way he walks, the way he talks, the way he conducts himself privately and publicly, and all the things of his activities begin to show a difference in him as a result of this Iman. And Iman is this blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and solely Allah chooses who He wishes to give. As it is such a beautiful blessing, not everyone gets blessed with it, and only those who do, we can see the effects of it even at the time of their death. And it is also difficult to know that how much Iman somebody has, since these are matters that is between the believer and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. Without Iman, a person is going to have a difficult life in this dunya, and even more difficult life in the akhirah. And all praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful, and who has the solutions to all our problems. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala processes those solutions to the problems of this dunya and the akhirah. He solely is the Lord, the owner of this dunya, the one of honor, the one who gives success, failure, sickness, health, respect, humiliation, life and death. These are matters that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can control. To believe that Allah sustains and satisfies the needs of all human beings in this dunya is something only a person of Iman can understand. Man can only get peace if he firmly believes in destiny and the other aspects of Iman, yani Iman Mufassal. And Iman seeks those reasons and sources that must be adopted or discarded in the view of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has taught this same Iman was taught to Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam through the stick, when Allah asked him that when you Musa, throw the stick, and he throws it. What does it become? It becomes a snake. And now he asks him to hold it, and now it becomes a stick again. What is being taught here is that exactly what Musa ﷺ said, that, oh Allah, this is neither a stick nor a snake. It is what you say it is. And if you say it is, and if you command it to become a snake, it will be so. And if you tell it to be a stick, it will be so. What was being taught here? This is Iman. That I will decide what the matters of this dunya are. And the more strong the believer has faith in it, the higher the level of Iman in the believer. Iman means to believe in the invisible, in Allah's book, the Holy Quran, as well as Prophet ﷺ. Moreover, when the work of dawah has been established for this purpose, so as to remind us and to strengthen the Iman. Iman will help us reject the materialistic world, and the fragrance of Iman cannot be smelled by everyone, or only those Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses, they will be blessed with it. And since Iman is a hidden treasure, Allah knows best how much one has. And this truth is fully exposed upon death. Sahaba were forever scared of being a hypocrite, for they knew that it is such a delicate matter that it can be snatched from them at any time. One of the Sahaba, after the burial of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said that he felt a difference in his level of Iman after the beloved Prophet was buried. Imagine 1400 years ago, if that was the state that they felt a difference, what would it be today? Truly only Allah knows the situation of our Iman. May Allah help us have a stronger Iman. One of the things about Iman is that it fluctuates so quickly that a believer might consider himself to be one in the morning, but by evening he or she might be a hypocrite. And Iman gets stronger in the path of Allah. Iman gets stronger when you do the work of dawah, where Allah is repeatedly reminded to people. He is repeatedly reminded. The people are repeatedly reminded of Allah's blessings, His qudrat, His divinity, the infinite nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the more we speak of it, the more Iman the believer has. When man is presented with situations around him, it is Iman which will help him associate himself from Allah. When he is associated with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the situations that he or she is presented with become easier to deal with, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes sufficient for them, because they do not need anything other than Him. But if you lack this Iman, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hand you over to the dunya. And now you will be struggling to find a solution to things. You will be struggling to find ease, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken that beauty away. May Allah protect us from that. One of the beauties of Islam is that those who possess it, the materialistic world and the situation in it do not create an impact in their heart and mind as much as compared to those with weakened Iman, because they are truly affected by everything that happens in this dunya, and they suffer agony, they go through pain, and it is a certain kind of peace which is lost, a certain kind of tranquility which is lost from their hearts, and they suffer in this dunya. Striving hard for Iman will develop the importance of it, the importance of good amal, the importance of good deeds, which is important in the making of Iman. Whenever there is confrontation between the commands of Allah and one's desires, one must fulfill Allah's commands, but do not violate it, and instead bear some hardship, show patience and sacrifice. For these comforts are they are temporary in nature. We can't expect these comforts to forever be there, and the pleasures and the materialistic goods. But in order to enjoy this dunya, please, one must not break the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at any cost. When the commands are fulfilled, then Allah's hidden kingdom favors us. When the commands are broken, the hidden kingdom starts to act against us. And one of the levels of Eimaan are also seen in the way that we are able to stop a bad activity from happening. Say, for example, you see, if you see a bad activity, you must try and stop it from your hand, and try to change it. If that is not possible, then you must speak. If even that is not possible, then the least of it is to hold some level of dislike for that act, and we should continue to strive and pray for the safety and purity of our Eimaan. The next topic that I want to cover is that what are the effects of Eimaan. When Eimaan comes in the believer, how does he or she act? Because there will be certain changes that will come in the body. The first gift of Eimaan is piety, taqwa, and extreme self-control in the body. Truly speaking, when the Eimaan is ruined, piety disappears and you lose self-control from the body. Once real Eimaan is achieved, the heart is fully focused towards Allah, and the influence of the materialistic world ends. Your necessities will be fulfilled according to the level of your Eimaan. If it is strong, then the necessities will get fulfilled in a respectable way. If not, there will be scarcity in everything, and therefore life becomes miserable and painful. The heart begins to reflect love and respect towards all aspects of Deen and Islam, and the body becomes ready to do amal more easily. Hypocrisy and false pride, they begin to disappear, and the person becomes humble and polite. The eyes begin to shed tears easily because of the fear of Allah, and he feels the softness of the heart. The believer loses interest in this materialistic world, and he becomes keen to do something which is better for the hereafter. By seeking Allah's help through dua, the Eimaan becomes more powerful for the believer. Laziness and carelessness disappear, and strength develops to do more amal. The believer begins to feel content and happy, and there is no pain or frustration. He becomes more spiritual as a person. He becomes more humble, and especially towards his subordinates and servants, and he feels pain in seeing suffering even in animals. He becomes repentant for the sins committed in the past, and he enjoys the path of Allah. Especially he likes to go to the mosque. There are several points that we have which we have mentioned in the book Learn to Swim Before You Sink, and the chapter in the chapter Effects of Powerful Eimaan, we have takriban 52 points where we talk about this. So inshallah, please download the book from darulqulub.com. It is available there, and if you must read it, and try to ask others to read it as well, and inshallah help others join this as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khair.